Okay, what's going on? I said I would try to pop all these videos out before he woke up, but he woke up, so now I am feeding him. And since I knew I wanted to do a video on um, breastfeeding, breast milk, and what do you call this? The breast pumps mostly. Like I said before, I specifically sorry if you can hear him gulping. I specifically wanted to pump because I felt like it was gonna be weird to have somebody sucking on my chi-chis like that and whatever. But I've come to a healthy medium of doing kind of both, well, mostly pumping. And so I was able to get, well, first of all, let me tell you about not about breastfeeding period. I encourage you, if you have not breastfed yet, or if you're pregnant and you're getting ready to, or you're trying to, do not give up 3 days in. It is okay to supplement until your supply comes in. I encourage you to give it 3 weeks at the least to try to get a supply. Um, please at least try 3 weeks. I know, well, I don't know if some of you know, but me and my two maid of honors, we all three of us were pregnant around the same time. I had two of us had our baby on the same day. The one who was having a girl, she had her girl on August 30th when I had my son, and then the other one, she had her baby on September 19th. So about 2.5 weeks later. Oh no, yeah, 2.5 weeks later. So we're all, in the same boat. We're in our little, group. And so I thought that we were all going to be breastfeeding together. And just so happened I'm the only one out of the bunch who went with it or was able to do it. And they are two well endowed women. I was, I'm in the itty bitty committee, and I was like an A&1/2, so I'll wear a B cup if that makes sense, so you can know how big I was beforehand. When I was pregnant, my breasts swelled, or they had swollen up very big, and it was a sight to see. However, once I delivered, nothing was coming out. They were just swollen and truly engorged really bad, and he couldn't get anything out, and he wouldn't latch as well. So I asked for a hospital grade pump, and nothing came out. And the lactation specialists in the hospital were like really going to town on my breast. And I mean, when I say they worked their fingers to the bone, I think they tried to find my rib cage. That's how hard they were digging into my breast trying to get this milk to start, come out the cup. The colostrum, the first milk that comes out that's real thick. They finally, after making me so teary eyed, I wanted to cry. They finally, got that to show up. And so I was pumping and I was barely getting any out, and I was still like really engorged. So when we went to his 3 day checkup after he got out the hospital, I could barely walk. That's how badly engorged I was. I did not want to move. They hurt that bad. And so I rented the hospital grade, what is it called? Medela Symphony pump. I rented that for 2 weeks. And that helped out a lot to try to get what was in there out. And within, I'm going to say 2.5 weeks, after 2.5 weeks, I finally was able to get it out. Now, I would say within a week, I went back to my gynecologist and said, something's wrong. They too big. I'm a 42 double D. And you know that the 42 is the inches around you. So I was really a 34. But the bra that I had to get in order to fit all that I had that was engorged up so big was a 42 double D. So so it really would have been like a 34. I don't know, HIG. I don't know, but they were huge. They looked like implants. And so my husband, he kept trying to, gently massage them, and I kept trying, and finally, it just finally started coming out as I was pumping. he just didn't want to latch, and something finally told us. Are you finished? Did I bring your? Oh Lordy Lord, did I bring your pacifier? Sorry, I don't think I brought it. Yep, you gonna be mad at me. So I I had to end up getting a nipple shield because he would not latch whatsoever. He was not going for it. He was thinking like me, like I don't want nobody sucking on my nipple, and he was like, I don't want to be sucking on nobody's nipple. So we ended up getting a Medela nipple shield, and he finally did latch on. But around 1.5 to 2 weeks, I was able to. I pumped my first pump that I actually did was 5 ounces, because that's how much had built up in there, and that was that bad. And so got all that out, and then it started coming in regularly around 1.5 to 2 ounces, and that's what was coming. And then as I latched him on more, it became 3 to 4 ounces. So finally, there we go. I got you, man. So finally, it got to the point where I was making 4 ounces, and not finally. Finally, got to the point where I was making 5 ounces. I was pumping every 2 to 3 hours, and I would get 5 ounces. Now in the morning, I would get around 10ish, about 10 ounces, and that's because I would go to sleep around 4 because I have insomnia, and I would get up around 8 to try to get that first pump out of the way and go back to sleep, and then I would go to sleep and wake up around 12ish and pump again, and then from then on I would get about 5 ounces, and that's not out of both, but that's like together. So I would get about 2.5, or 2.5 to 3 out of both, and then I would end up freezing some because he didn't need that much back then. Now that he's at 4 months, he's drinking 5 to 6 ounces, mostly 5 ounces, and this is the way I did it. Because don't get scared. I'm sorry. Because let's see, I'm gonna have to get you a pacifier. This is the way I did it. If he doesn't cry, I'll be able to tell you the story. So, like I said, I didn't give up. Even though I was engorged, I did keep trying to pump with the hospital grade pump. I got the free pump with, so cute. I got the free pump with my insurance, and I got the Medela, what is it called? The Medela pumping style. The Medela pumping style. And when I, compared it to the Medela Symphony that I had gotten from the hospital, it wasn't the same. It didn't have the same type of functioning, and I just really didn't like it. Just tugged and made me feel like I was a cow with udders. And so I did some research and was looking because and I was looking at what are you smiling at? So I was looking at other pumps and trying to find quality pumps and find what people like. And so this is how I ended up with an arsenal, because I kept on buying pumps and buying stuff and looking up what people were saying about everything, and I could not find a video that was doing this Medela versus Amita, Medela versus Spectra, Medela versus Preemie or Freemie or whatever it's called. So I can only tell you from what I have, but from what I have used, I can tell you I've used the Medela Symphony. I have the Medela pumping style 9-volt advanced, and then I have the Spectra S1. I have the Spectra S2, and I have the Freemie breast pump cups, and I have the Medela what is it? Is it a Harmony? The one that you use, the hand pump that you use. So that's I guess 5 pumps that I use now. What I found out was when the Spectra finally came in, the Spectra was supposed to have a different cord from the Medela, and it has different. Good job, man. Good burp. So the Medela, the Spectra had a different sucking motion than the Spectra. Yeah, had a different suction than the Medela, and it ended up after I would pump with Medela, it would get a lot more milk out. And the Spectra is a hospital grade pump, so it has the what do you call those things? It has the screen and stuff, and you're able to control how fast it goes and how strong the suction is and all that good stuff. So I really like that. But in order for me to feel comfortable using or feel empty, I have to use both. I have to use the Medela first, the Medela pumping style, and then I end up using the Spectra S1 when I'm at home. If I'm out of town or I'm traveling, I take the Spectra S2 everywhere. That's to the grocery store. That's where, to the doctor's office. I will pump in public as long as I have a jacket to cover. I take the Spectra S2 everywhere. And the only problem that I have is that it takes too long for me to pump all of the milk that I pump out. At this point, at this moment, my morning pumps are about 8 to 9 ounces each breast. And then throughout the day, I'm pumping about I pump about 5 ounces each breast now. And that's with me pumping try to pump every 4 hours. And that's because I had nothing to do. Now, when y'all working stuff, that's different. I know y'all like, girl, please, I don't got time for that. I understand. I do. So when you do have the chance to pump as much as you can, freeze it, and that way you won't have to do what I'm doing, which is pumping every time you get it. The way that I was able to get more was I did latch him for a full day to get as much as I could, and as soon as he would finish, I would take him off. When I take it, well, of course I would take him off when he finished, but I would pump immediately after he would finish. And when doing that, you want your keys? When doing that, it did bring out more, but it brought out a very little amount, maybe an ounce at the most. But I wanted to make sure that my body knew to keep making more milk and to keep producing more milk. And the longer you go without pumping, the less your body thinks that you need it. So if your chi-chis feel full and you have the chance, pump. The problem I have with pumping is that it takes me 2 hours, and I mean 2 hours to actually empty out my breast each time. And that's not an over exaggeration. That is just me being honest. I go about 30 minutes on, well, I try to go 30 minutes on the Medela because I try to, good job. I try to maneuver up and down the speeds to get at least 4 ounces out from the Medela. Then when I switch to the Spectra, it has like a 30-minute, timing. So I go up. I start at 3 in 5-minute increments. I'll go through the different massage modes. But I learned that after doing that, since I don't massage anymore while I'm pumping, that it gets a lot out, but it doesn't get it all out. So after that 30 minutes, I have to turn it back on, and it'll go again. And so that's how I end up getting so much, because I end up pumping for so long, which I do not believe is natural. So if you are pumping for 15 minutes and you're only getting 2 ounces, then that's probably right or natural. If you're like me and you don't really have too much to do, you're sitting around at the house and you're just watching the baby, then you can probably pump until you're empty. But I pump until I don't feel any more knots in my breast or whatever. And so that's how that works. So now getting to the grits of it, which pump is the best? The Spectra S2 to me is the best pump that I've used, and that includes the Symphony. I have not used a Amita pump, and that's just because I simply did not get one with my insurance. I ended up getting a Medela. So the purely yours, I know some people like that. I have not tried that one, but it seemed like people like Spectra over Amita, and that's how I ended up getting a Spectra. And the Spectra is great. If you have a Medela and you switch to Spectra, it's a big difference. You don't feel like a cow. You feel more like a mom. Because with Medela, I feel like I'm getting pumped like an actual cow. Like, they squeeze the udders. And then with Spectra, it vibrates. And it has like suction motions like an actual baby would do when he's latching on. And so it's more comfortable. It doesn't hurt as bad, nearly as bad. And it has different functions that you can do or whatever. And it's a hospital grade. So that's even better. With the S2, it's portable, so you can take it around with you. I have pumped in the movie theater before. I've pumped at the doctor's office, like I said. And the thing that I really like is, even though the Spectra has its own like really thick tubing, my husband just connected the tubing from my Medela pump to my Spectra pump. And so I ended up just going, I just end up unplugging from my Medela and plugging right into my Spectra and then turning that on. And that's how I end up using both at the same time. Could I do one without the other? Yeah, I've done the Spectra without the Medela. It just took a longer time to get it all out. And so if you had to just choose one, the Medela pump and style or the Spectra, I would definitely go with the Spectra. I'm trying to make sure I'm getting it out. Oh, the Freemy has these cups. It's like a breast pump cup, and you're supposed to be able to be active in it, and you're supposed to stick it in your bra and turn your pump on, and it's supposed to pump out your milk while with whatever pump you have, and it has like different adapters and connectors. I'm sorry. You looking at me, boo? Okay. It has different adapters and connectors and all that good stuff. And it's like two hoses that come out, and you connect it to a pump, and that way people can't see you pumping at work and all that good stuff. And it comes with a 25-inch flange and a 28-inch flange, and I'm a 27 on Medela, so I used a 28 because I needed a bigger one. And also with the Spectra, it only came with a 24, so that one did not work for me too well. It is a closed system, which is great because you need that, and you can change it out some kind of way to fit your Medela, but I didn't. I just used my Medela carefully to where it doesn't let the milk go back into the Spectra. So I just used the Medela cord in the Spectra. But with these Freemy cups, it works sort of. It works enough to get me, I want to say, 2 ounces out. After that, you pretty much have to go to your regular cones and put them on, and either get a bra that you can use not to have to hold on to it or whatever. But it just, in my experience, and I did read some reviews, it does not get all your milk out. It just doesn't. So if you just need to type in stuff at work and stuff, and you need something, you need to pump, you can use it for a little while. But on your 15-minute lunch break, if you find a room where you can finish pumping out with another pump, or with the cones, the regular cones, some kind of way, do that. Or if you are able to just pump with a bra with the regular flanges, just do that. The Freemy isn't worth what it seems like. And the reason I say that is because it will drop your milk supply if you do not finish pumping with the cones or some kind of other way, or a hand pump or something. It does not get all of your milk out. No matter what it says, it will not. No matter how long you leave it on, it will not get all of your milk out. It will decrease your supply because your body will say that it's making enough once you stop. I have not been able to get a full 8 ounces into one of those cups. I have not been able to go over 4 ounces without the milk coming back out into the tube, shooting back out into the tube and getting into my trying to go back into the pump. So I gave up on the Freemy breast cups. Um, if I ever get pregnant again and I get the free insurance pump, I'm thinking about getting an Amita, or I'm thinking about getting the Freemy full system so I can try that out myself, or something else. I'll probably try something else. I won't get a Spectra because I already have one, and I won't get another Medela because I already have that, unless it's a new Medela out or something. But I'm definitely try something new. Um, but if you've been thinking about spending $50 and $60 just to get the pump, just to get the cones, not the cones, the cups for the Freemy, just to do it at work, I would advise you to just do what I did. I went to Burlington Coat Factory. I found a $1.98 maternity bra. That was like it was like a sports bra. I cut 2 holes in it. I put my my flanges in it, and I hooked it on up to the pump, and I pumped that way. I had my hands-free bra for $2. I did not pay $40. Like I said, I must stay. I'm at home. I mean, I have money. I won't lie. I'm not rich or anything, but I have money. I can afford the stuff that I want, but I don't want to pay $40 for a hands-free pump bra. So it does open up and all that good stuff, but it has the holes in it, and I put it in there and I pump that way. So I would recommend doing that over spending $60 for a Freemy cup. That's if, and I'm saying that if you don't start with a Freemy. Maybe if you start with a Freemy, it'll clean you out. But if you don't, there's no way it's gonna give you as good. It's not gonna be as good as whatever pump you get that pumps out everything else. Now on to sound. Medela sound. Medela sound and Spectra sound are two different sounds. Medela, the pumping style is louder than the Spectra. The Spectra sound echoes through the tubing, and it's kind of weird, but it's not weird, but it's kind of funny. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not too loud. Neither one is loud, but they are noticeable. The Medela is definitely noticeable. If you're at a board meeting or something and you're trying to pump, or you're at your office and you're trying to pump, and you have you're in a cubicle, people will probably hear your breast pump, but it's not a big hindrance. Last night I was on the phone with my mom with the Medela pump, and I had these headphones in, and she said, "What's that sound?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm pumping," and she was like, "Okay." So with the earphones on, she was able to hear the Medela pump. But once I switched to the Spectra pump, she didn't say anything, but she could have heard it. She may not have heard it, but she didn't ask anything. And I'm assuming it's because she had already knew I was pumping. So the Spectra, sorry, is not as loud as the Medela. The only difference between the Spectra S1 and the Spectra S2 is the cord. That's it. The S2 has a, what do you call that? Battery in it that you can travel with. That's the only difference. So when I'm at home and I'm in bed, I use the Spectra S1, and I always just keep the Spectra S2 charged up for whenever I leave the house, because if I'm out all day, I need to pump at some point, and that's just it. And it works really well for me. Do you need both? No. Just get you the S2, call it a day. But the S2 wasn't out when a lot of people got the S1. So I actually only got the S1 because I had bought the S2 body only. And I know that sounds weird, but they didn't have any of the stuff it came with. It was like a over stock factory that only had the S2 by itself, no cord, no anything. So I bought the S1 to get the cord and to get the pump stuff. And it was only $50 because someone was selling it used. So I didn't even plan on using the S1. But since the flange is only 24, it didn't even work right for me. So I wasn't able to use the actual system that it came with. But I am able to use the S1, and I'm glad that I have it now. So that I don't have to keep trying to move and all that good stuff with the S2. I can keep it in the car. I can keep it wherever I want to and use it at my discretion when I want to. So I am hoping that, I'm so sorry. I am hoping that helps you out some. At the end of the day, No, I do not feel like Medela is the best pump. The hospital grade one I did like. I liked it a lot more than the pumping style. If it was to go, if I were to say the Medela Hospital Symphony pump versus the Spectra S1 and S2 hospital grade pump, I would also go with the Spectra. If you are in the hospital, I recommend you asking them to let you use a pump. All hospitals have something different. A lot of hospitals have Medela. If they have Medela, try it out. You do not have to get your pump from your insurance before you have your baby, like I did. I ordered it early because I thought I was going to need it at the hospital. You can wait and try it out at a. You can wait and try out the Medela at the hospital. If you don't like the suction that it does, then order something different from your insurance if you have it. If not, I will tell you this. You can go on eBay, and even though they say don't get used pumps, get your used pump, baby. If you look inside the Medela pumping style, it's closed. You can't get any milk inside the motor now because they have it closed off. And that's the newer ones. You can buy those for $35 on eBay. So if you want to try something different like the Spectra or a Meta or something else, then and you have it, your insurance gets it free for you. Oh, boo, boo. And your insurance gets it free for you. Then try something different. Go to eBay or whatever and get you a cheap pumping style. And that way you can try it without having to get that one for free when you can afford something. The Spectra is, I believe, $120 or no. The Spectra S2 is $220. And the Spectra S1, I believe, is $120. So just consider that you can buy used a Medela pumping style for $35, but if you try to buy a Spectra used, it's about $100 and something, $150 on eBay. I bought mine for a lot cheaper. I found it at a really good bargain. Both of them actually. I got both the S1 and the S2 for under $112 total. But I'm a bargain hunter, so that's just me. But I wish I would have. I wish I would have waited and not gotten the Medela pump because I could have just got that off of eBay for $30 and called that a day. So just hopefully that helps you out. If you need help with like how often to breastfeed in the beginning, in the first 2 weeks, try to pump every 2 hours to get your supply started. Do not give up in 3 days. Supplement with what is it called? I think it was Infamil. It may not have been Infamil. What's the other one? The Strong Moms. The Similac. Similac for supplementation with the green tops. Use that in the hospital up until you can get your supply out. Don't be discouraged. I was very discouraged. My mom kept feeding the baby the supplement, and I was so upset because I was trying my hardest to pump and I couldn't get any out, and I was engorged so bad. It was hurting so bad. I had to sit in the bathtub and try to massage them and get them to stop hurting and everything, and I was scared to take stuff because I didn't want it to go into his system. So give it 3 weeks after that, because 2 weeks is how long it'll usually take for the engorgement to go down. 3 weeks is when you usually are able to get some out. After 3 weeks, then quit if you're going to quit. But please, for the sake of, if you're cheap, if you want your baby to have breast milk, if you think it's the best option, do that. My friends who have babies now, they are, well, one of them, she's struggling to, she gave her baby cereal at 2 months because she said she wasn't getting enough something. And she's giving her the Similac with aluminium or something in it, whatever. It's like the highest Similac there is. And baby, you can get on WIC and you like, you know what, I don't want to breastfeed. I don't want to do Similac or Infamil or whatever. Do you? Ain't no judgments on here. My sister did she didn't breastfeed at all. Nobody in my family breastfed at all. Right now, my sister-in-law, she breastfeeds, and we're the only two people I know. So I know nothing about breastfeeding except for my experience, which is why I'm trying to tell you so you can have some kind of knowledge from some base or whatever. I know there's probably a million breastfeeding reviews on here, but if you have any questions about breastfeeding, breast milk, breastfeeding, or whatever, breastfeeding a fussy baby because I did, or latching, ask me. You can email me, it's gabriellet@gmail.com. It's itsgabriellet@gmail.com. Also, the type of nipple shield that I got was a Medela. He does not like it, but he did use it at first. Get you a, oh Lord, what is it called? It's on Amazon. It's called Loving My Nipple Shield. Get that. Um, Also, it, I don't have to do another video, but also if you leak at night, which most people do, there are these cups that you can put in your bra that catches the milk. Um, they are called Ocalet or Ocalet, something like that. OCALEEETTE. I got it on what do you call it? I got it on Amazon for like $13, I want to say, or $12. I didn't like them at first, but they do catch the milk. They have a hole in them and all that good stuff. And I only got them to sleep in, but you can get them for if you just go out in the day and you just need something to catch the milk while it's leaking if you are a bad leaker and all that good stuff. So if you got any questions, just ask. I'm really easy to reach because I'm here all day and I do nothing. But I do invitations and stuff, and baby invitations and buttons and all that stuff for kid parties and birthdays and all that stuff. So I am sometimes working, but I'm almost always near my computer so I can get back to your emails really quick. So I'm wrapping this video up. If you have any questions about breastfeeding, breast milk, all that good stuff, let me know. We just started him on mashed potatoes. I did it the wrong way. I started it the right way. I mixed it up with the breast milk real good and tried to feed it with a spoon, and he was spitting it out a little bit, and then he was taking it, and then he liked it so much that he was crying for it, and I got impatient, and I made his last bottle for the night, a bottle in a, I mixed the mashed potatoes in a bottle, and I had it in a slow flow nipple, and I shouldn't have did that. But from what I hear, you're not supposed to put food in bottles anyway. But I don't listen to people because they don't live here. So I ended up, having to cut a hole in the nipple to make it bigger. And he loved it. But the next day he was so hungry that he ate, oh my goodness, he ate like twice as many times as he does on a normal day. And he's back to normal now. We haven't given him any more food or whatever, but we do know that he does like potatoes. So I'm getting ready to start making him some food. I got him a little squeeze station so I can start cooking. I'm not doing anything else. I'm not judging anybody who doesn't make their kids food, but I want to do it just because I'm at home all day and I do nothing. So I'm gonna make him some food and all that good stuff. I think that was it. It was another point I wanted to make, but I can't remember it. I have so much that I could tell you about bottles, everything that I've been through, that you might have questions about. So just email me or ask me questions in the comments and I will get back to you. I'm trying to think of what my next video is going to be about. It has something to do with you, little buddy. Yeah, you. Okay, well, anywho, you guys contact me. You know how to. You can also find me on Facebook at It's Gabrielle. That's facebook.com. And then the /ITSGABRIELLE. And then if you are contacting me through there, send me a message if you send me a friend's request, because I have like 100 friends requests that I have not accepted because I don't know these people. And so if I know that you are reaching out to me because of that, then let me know and I will add you. If not, you probably won't get added if I don't know you. I'm sorry. But other than that, y'all have a blessed day. Bye bye.